Hi, I'm Isabella. My dad is obsessed with reality television, maybe even more so than I am.
She's not wrong.
This is Check Me Boomer, a father daughter weekly dish on the latest in reality TV. Much to discuss today. We have Love Island USA, Love Island UK, we have Summer House in the city, and we also have a couple things to say about Real Housewives of Atlanta and Real Housewives of Rhode Island. But we're going to definitely start with Love Island. We know that's the big headliner here.
Top of mind.
Top of mind, yes. We did just finish the latest episode of UK, the episode that came out on Sunday, June 7th, which is when we are recording. Should we get into UK first or USA? What do you think?
But if anyone hasn't watched it, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert for everything, and that's just kind of going forward. We're talking about stuff. Love Island UK. My first thoughts. I think they're taking a page out of USA, out of their book. Because I don't know if you would agree with me, I would say that UK has fallen in the past few years. And USA has kind of taken over. And I think that UK has realized that and they've taken it on board. I think that the girls they have are stunning. They have great personalities. They seem a little bit more diverse. They seem more natural. They seem fun. I'm already loving all the girls. So that's positive. What do you think, Dad?
I agree. It's interesting you brought that up because coincidentally the other night I looked up to see what the viewership was, and originally UK had much larger audience, but then USA came back at least last season and beat it. And I completely agree with you. Overall, I'm not a fan of any of the men on any of the shows, but the women on UK are much more engaging. They seem more rational, balanced, which has pros and cons in reality TV. And I don't know if we want to get into specifics in a bit, but the other thing is that comparing USA to UK, the USA was just a little bit cheesy and overproduced, too much slow motion at the intro, the first episode, and too much background.
Very raunchy too.
Oh,
immediately.
Right. This one, they just got right into it. There's no super long background about the people and them standing on the beach, moving in awkward ways in slow motion, which is always so cheesy.
The intro dance.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So I'm excited about both, but yes, I agree with you. I like UK better.
So let's dive into it. Who right now is your favorite girl and your favorite guy?
In the UK or both?
In UK.
Ellie, by far. And I just said that I'm not a fan of any of the guys. I don't know if I ever am a huge fan of the guys for some reason, but maybe Lorenzo, although even though George looks like a Targaryen, I think that he speaks really well and he seems to think through what he's saying. I don't know that I'm going to like how he's acting and how it's received by the other women, but I was surprised that he seems more normal than the others. None of them are really off or there's any problem with them, but I don't know that I've picked a guy or if I ever do.
Yeah, I think that sometimes you like the funny guys. And I don't know if we really know who that is yet. I could see Aiden being that guy, but he's already annoying me too. I mean, he already can't decide between Ellie and Yasmin. Seems like he's decided on Yasmin for now. But then, of course, well, should we talk about the dumping? The fake dumping?
Sure.
So, George and Yasmin came in as bombshells, and they were met outside by Maya Jama, who told them in 24 hours, you have to dump 2 people. And it can be anyone, and it can be for any reason. So immediately, great idea.
Right.
First of all,
right.
I mean, I feel like UK never really wants to shake it up like that. So I like that. Now when the dumping comes around, they dump Samraj and Ellie. Diabolical. Diabolical to pick those two. I get what they were doing, but
And it was just such a bummer because we had just gotten done saying how much I like Ellie. I think that she's one of the prettier ones, but also I love her personality. She's funny. The Scottish accent is killing me. It's so awesome. But then she's also
I think.
no that the Tink I think is the Irish
Oh, you're
Robin,
right.
right?
You're right.
But she just seems like she doesn't care, and she's very balanced. Again, that's a trade off. You want a little bit of crazy, and we'll come to someone on the U.S. side who's a good counterbalance. But so a big bummer, but then tell the audience what happened
Yeah.
shortly
Well,
thereafter.
spoiler alert, obviously, but they got into the van. They got a text. I got a text and said that they have a second chance. So they actually went and spent the night in the hideaway. And on the most recent episode, we saw that 2 bombshells came in for them. Now, what's interesting about one of these bombshells, Dad?
It's Aiden's brother.
Aiden's brother is going on a date with Ellie, who was just with Aiden. Genius. Really, genius idea to bring in the brother.
I thought it was a little odd that both you and your mother immediately asked if they'd had hair transplants.
They just look like they have a really good head of hair, and they could have great genes, but I also know that hair transplants are popular in the UK, and they both definitely have some turkey teeth.
I was familiar with turkey teeth. I had not known that hair transplants were so common in the UK, especially that age. The Cavan, is that how you say his last name?
I guess.
He's 21, so that's a little early to be having hair replacement.
Yeah,
Not judging, but
I don't disagree.
maybe we're speculating. It may never have happened, right?
Complete speculation. We have no idea. It just looks like the hairs. It looks too luscious to me.
Okay,
But
that's not what I would have said. You won't catch me saying his hair is luscious.
speaking of Cavan, I feel like we have a lot of really young people on this season of UK specifically. All the 21-year-olds, just thinking about how they were born in 2005 freaks me out a little bit. Like, are they old enough to be here?
You'll get used to it. Mika is 21. Who is there anyone else?
I can't remember who. I know it was Aiden's little brother is for sure 21. And then maybe Robin. I don't have that, but I know that. Oh, you got your little cheat sheet over here.
You're not supposed to tell the
Oh, we
audience
can
that.
tell. Our audience will learn quickly that you struggle with names sometimes. So, especially for Love Island, with both going on, you need a little bit of help.
Well, and it came in handy because Robin is also 21.
Okay, I thought Robin maybe. There are some on USA that are 21 too. I just think it's. I mean, when I was 21, I had no idea what I was doing. So I guess that's what they're looking for, though. So I want to make one comment. I need to just talk about Jasmine. Jasmine is one of the prettiest girls I think they've ever had on the show. She seems so cool. I think she and Lorenzo are one of the most beautiful couples they've had on the show. I mean, both of them, I think they are way better looking than anyone on USA, to be honest. I know it's not a competition, but wow, they're nice to look at for sure.
But they're short timers. They're not going to last.
Oh, no, I don't think they're going to last as a couple. I think Jasmine is actually more suited for like a Samraj. Speaking of Samraj, I love him. I think he's smart, which we need a little bit more of on this show. Not all the time, but it's just kind of refreshing to hear someone that just is well spoken and sounds normal and not dumb.
I'm getting the name straight. I kept calling him Ram Jam for some reason. But Sammy Raj is
Sammy Raj. Yeah, they start calling him Sammy Raj. That's funny. I want to say one more thing about UK before we can move on, of course, depending on if you have more things to say.
Go for it.
Every season of Love Island UK has at least one girl that has the most awful extensions you've ever seen in your life. And I'm not going to call her out, but if you know, you know. And that's all I'm going to say. And I think these girls need some help. Someone needs to tell them.
And I wish you had not brought this up. And your mother said the same thing about someone in the USA episode the other night. And now I'm stuck looking at their hair to see if they have extensions or broken. I don't even know how you say it. Broken hair.
I don't even know what you're talking about, but yeah.
Yes, I can't unsee it either.
It's so funny. Yeah, I'm not going to put that girl on blast, but I think if you've seen it, you know who it is. The last thing I'll say is I would like to see more from Angelista. Angelista?
It's Lista.
Okay. I would like to see more from her. I think she needs a bombshell. I don't think Opie is her guy. We haven't seen enough of her, and I'd like to see more.
Real quick on that, it could be both of these things could be production. What I mean by that is Angelista could be like the funniest gal on the show, and they're
Right.
just not showing it. And then going back to the extensions, what if they show up and the producers say, "Hey, you have to have super long hair for the show. I don't know what anyone was telling you before coming here," and they encourage them to get it. I'm trying to
Huh.
come up with a rationale that explains this.
That's interesting because I'm trying to remember the last girl that didn't have long hair on Love Island, period. I'm sure there have been, but yeah, it's even just looking at our cheat sheet.
Lola's hair's not that long, is
No, and I think her hair looks natural.
it? Okay.
And I like Lola too. I mean, all these girls, we're going to get into them more, of course, as the season goes on. I already like all the girls. I think Robin's hilarious. I think Lola's going to be funny. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the season.
But which one is going to be crazy? There has to be someone crazy or it won't be as good.
I could see it being Ellie. I could see it being Ellie. I could see Jasmine getting a little bit crazy, but I could see it being warranted.
Okay.
And then, it's hard. It's so hard to say.
I think
It
Robin.
really is. Okay. I could see Robin.
Robin, I think it's one of those, she doth protest too much. She's saying, I don't care. I'm easygoing. I'll see everyone. I want to chat to everyone. But I already anticipate she might get hung up on someone quickly and have her feelings hurt and spiral a little bit. I don't want that to happen, but if I had to pick one of the 7, that's who I'd pick.
I could see that. I could see that. We're calling these girls crazy, and it's lovingly. We don't want any kind of bullying of these girls. Obviously, I think that should go without being said, but just want to make that clear. We're not trying to bully any of these girls. This is all just fun.
Maybe crazy is not the right term. It's
it probably isn't, but
charismatic. Because if thinking back, when the best episode of reality TV ever, in my opinion, was Teresa going a little crazy and flipping the table. So saying crazy might be too broad of a term, so we'll work on an alternative. Charisma.
I'm not sure if that's the right synonym.
No.
But we'll figure it out. But just wanted to make it clear that that's what we mean. We very much enjoy watching the crazy. So
Yes.
But I think it's going to be a great season. I'm excited.
Me too. I love also that it comes out in the middle of the night, so if you can space out what we're watching during the day and not have to wait for everything to come on, at night.
Yeah. It is a lot watching 2 Love Islands in tandem is a lot, but we're having a great time, I think.
And now we know at least one night USA is not on Saturday.
Correct. Well, no, the USA, we're going to have After Sun. They just don't have After Sun for this week.
And that's not a UK thing, or
it is a UK thing as well.
Okay.
I don't know for sure what the schedule of UK is yet, just because we are on the Hulu schedule, so we're a few days behind. So I anticipate maybe the off day will be like Monday or Tuesday.
And the other thing is Unseen Bits.
I like Unseen Bits.
I don't watch either of those, After Sun or Unseen Bits.
I do watch both. So I will definitely be tuning into those. If there's anything worth pointing out, I got you guys.
Okay.
So, are we ready to jump into USA?
Let's do it.
All right, my first thoughts on USA. It's it's a lot. It's a lot right now. I love the show. I don't know why they needed to force everyone to make out immediately. I think it kind of takes away from, I mean, now they've already all kissed. So like any couples that are like getting to that point like we see in UK where they go to the terrace and kiss and it's a big thing. We don't really have that in USA. So I don't love that. First thoughts on contestants. Anyone you like, anyone you dislike already?
I would probably say Kenzie, just because I think that
You
she's,
like her?
like I said before, compared to the UK, I'm not a fan of any one of them in particular. I think that she might be one of the best participants for what's going to happen later.
Mm-hmm.
She's from right around the corner. Sometimes I love hearing her accent come through. And then she just has these facial expressions. Sometimes it's just like her mouth open and she's got these big wide eyes, but other times I swear she looks like she just smelled a fart. And she's got this disgust look on her face, and it's killing me. It's sad that that's what I'm focusing on. I'm sure you have something a little
No,
more
she's
substantive.
very expressive. Like that
Right.
is one of my main points about her. She's very expressive. A lot of people are like, "Is she on drugs?" Cuz look at her eyes. But of course, no, she's not on drugs. They're in Fiji on a TV show. What I do think is funny is I've seen online some people editing her side by side with Sydney Sweeney from Euphoria, and that is pretty spot on. They're both kind of similar personalities, but for the record, I like Kenzie. I think she's funny. I think she's very bubbly. She's a little bit immature, maybe, but that's what we need on this show. I mean, her getting so upset over Zach after one day is a little bit much, but I think that's what we're looking for on this show. I
Right.
mean,
Right.
we wouldn't have a show if people didn't get upset that they were rejected. So I like Kenzie a lot. I'm not sure who she's going to end up with. She and Sean have this weird thing going on. I don't know what is going on, but you've seen them like kiss all over the place just randomly.
Oh, he's the cop, right?
Yes, Sean is
Okay.
the cop.
Yep.
Here we go.
Police officer.
Yes. Um so I don't know. Maybe they have something there. Maybe they're just like, "Oh, we're the single ones, so we might as well just hang out." I don't know, but I like Kenzie. I don't like Zach, and I don't have a reason for it.
Okay.
So I'm wondering your thoughts on Zach.
Which one is Zach again?
Zach is
looking at
Charlie's
cheat sheet.
brother, which you probably don't even know Charlie either, even though you watched that season.
Yes. Okay. I'm ambivalent about all those guys. They're, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have a reason to not like him, but I don't like him. There's just something about him that bothers me. Maybe it's because I didn't love Charlie either. I don't love it when they bring in UK people for the US. I think it's just not realistic
Are you
long term.
so? Are you bothered when U.S. people are on the UK side?
No, that's different
Why is that?
because I like it when they do that.
It's still unrealistic.
It absolutely is, but I like it a little bit more because the UK people, when you have an American coming in, they're like, "Whoa, this person's crazy." We've seen it with Tony from last season, who was big fan favorite. She won the show, so I think it not to say it doesn't work. Of course, it's worked before. It's not my favorite move. I wish they could have found someone else from the USA. I do think where the USA has done better this season is with their bombshells. And that's kind of been consistent throughout the seasons. I think USA really gets the hottest bombshells they can find. I think UK, they need a little work on that. But
I don't know. I thought Yasmin was pretty good addition.
yeah, George, though.
Yeah, I can't really comment.
I don't think, were comparable to Gabriel and
Kata?
Kata. Yes, Kata. Kata. I love Kata. She's my number one girl right now. Loved what she said to Melanie when Melanie tried to kind of call her out in the challenge, and Kata kind of got her back, and then she was like, well, you came at me first. So I really like her attitude. I think she's funny. I think she's gorgeous. But yeah, Gabriel I think is gorgeous too. He has zero substance though.
So far.
So far, yeah, we will give him a chance. But yeah, I'm not getting anything from Gabriel except for raunchy. I need a little bit more from him. So
Well, you brought up the challenge, and that's one of the things I briefly touched on earlier. I can't stand the USA challenges. It's just such a waste of time. And why do they have to have slime? And I caught myself thinking, what's that stuff made out of? Like, did it remind you of Nickelodeon, the green slime?
honestly, no, but
Okay, but now it does. And I thought about how I know that takes all day because remember when Paige was visiting and she
I
complained
love
like
how
she
you
was
remember this.
all day long that she was there.
Hmm.
And so it's got to be a huge waste of resources for them to just they're trying to bring up some drama, but can't you just like play a game in front of the fire pit? Like on the UK, it's so much more efficient and they get all messy. And the first thing your mom says is like, didn't they shower before they go and sit on the furniture? They're going to get slime all over it.
Hmm.
But it goes back to it's overproduced. And I was thinking about it. If there are any dads out there that are listening and you've never watched Love Island before, for Love Island USA, you could probably skip the first 30 minutes of episode 1. It's just horrible.
Yeah, it's a tough watch. It's a tough watch. We don't usually watch these things together. I have my own apartment separately. I do not live at home. So I definitely had a few moments of, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I'm not watching this with my parents. But I mean, I see what they're trying to do. I get it. I know you think it's overproduced, and I don't disagree. I also think that they sometimes feel like they need to find things to do
Yep.
for them. These games often do cause drama.
Right.
So I understand what they're doing. I think that it is a little much. Do they need the slime? Probably not. Do they need to be like dancing all over everything? Probably not. But
Well, and how about bringing in the bombshell and they force all of them to make out with him sight unseen?
that part I kind of loved. That
Okay.
part I
It
was
seems like
like,
you're
this
being
is
a little bit hypocritical
a
here.
little bit, but I thought that for a bombshell though, I feel like that made sense to me. It was interesting. It was something they've never done before. I wasn't mad at that. I wasn't.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting too old, but I wasn't a
Maybe,
fan of that.
but I mean, I feel like I am old sometimes. I'm like, it's too much, but that didn't bother me as much. I want to talk about some of the couples.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on Bryce and Trinity? Separately and together, really.
Okay. I know who Trinity is. I got to figure out which one is Bryce.
Bryce is the only white guy, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Oh, he's from Hawaii.
Model DJ,
Right,
which
yes.
seems to be a very popular combination. Like, oh yeah, I'm a model and a DJ.
Uh, there's nothing there for me. Well, let me back up. She might be the smartest of the women on the show. She might be the smartest person on the show. She said a couple things in contrast to a couple of the women who didn't know where New Hampshire was.
Okay, that
And
was a note I wanted to bring up.
right, and then she said something I can't remember what the discussion was, and she brought up the topic in a way. And I'm like, okay, she knows what's going on. She not only knows her geography, but she was the first one to pick up on when Gabriel said, "I speak Portuguese." She said, "You're from Brazil," which is a
You would
pretty
think
narrow.
is yeah, you would think is something people should know, but the bar's pretty low.
Well, it's less likely to be known than where a state in our own country
Correct,
is.
correct. Going back to the New Hampshire thing, our Georgia girls are giving us a bad name right now because it's both Kenzie and Anaya are both the ones who responded. And first off, I just want to say, Kada having to go around and ask people, "Do you know where that is?" That I think speaks a lot to the intelligence of our country right now, but that's a whole other thing. So I think that when I heard her ask that question, I was like, "Are you insane? Who doesn't know where New Hampshire is if we're American?" And then to my surprise, I heard Kenzie and Anaya say, "No, where's that?"
I wouldn't expect everyone to be able to distinguish it from Vermont,
Yeah,
but you should know it's up in the far northeast, right
It's
up
in New
there. Yeah,
England. It's
right.
up there. Come on.
Hopefully they knew it was a state. They just didn't know. I don't know.
God,
Even
I
if I
hope
say
so.
that, that's sad.
We can hope, but these people were not cast for their brains. So it's okay. But it's makes me cringe a little bit. Like girls, especially my Georgia girls. I know our education is not the best, but come on now. Come
Right,
on.
right.
Back to Bryce. Something about Bryce. I really like him. I think he's funny. I can't even put my finger on what it is, but he's my favorite guy right now.
Okay.
And I think it more speaks to how the other guys are just not that great, maybe. Because it's not like Bryce has even done that much to be my favorite guy, but he is. Um, I do think he and Trinity are more friends, but if something changed, I think I would support it. I think I would.
Well, something happened on the last episode.
They were kind of iffy about it. They were like, well, maybe we're not just friends.
He's
So,
growing on me.
yeah. So I do like a slow burn in
That
these
sounds so
shows.
British for you to say that.
They do say that a lot on UK.
That was not even a saying in this country before.
I totally was.
Okay, is that a generational thing?
Maybe,
Okay.
but I've definitely heard that before UK. But I do think that it's rare to happen on these shows, but when it does, I'm usually rooting for those couples.
Because it might actually be real.
Yeah, because they're not forcing it.
Right.
And that's nice to see. So I want to get into Melanie. I want to get into Melanie, and I want to get into Beatrice, and I want to get into Kata, and the whole, I guess it was Friday night's episode, that whole little ordeal, Melanie's crash out. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Well, going back to what we said before about crazy, this is sort of what I was at least talking about.
Mhm.
Crazy, maybe overreaction is a better way to
Mhm.
describe it. And without it, it would be boring. But it is a little early and somewhat inconsistent for her to get miffed, if not worse, about a pretty innocent discussion between her man, who is sincere, and Kadia.
Kata.
Kata.
Or as she likes to call her, Katie, which
That's
is not cool. I mean, come on. You know her name.
So that was so brief. And then as soon as a bombshell comes in, she is the first one to say, I want to go pull you for a chat. And not just to pull for a chat, but to go up to the terrace. They went upstairs, if I remember correctly. And then the fight, I thought, I'm glad that Beatrice brought it up. I thought she focused on the body positioning more so than the timing. And she would have had a better argument of saying, hey, it seems a little inconsistent how you treated Sincere versus what just happened. Instead was saying like, oh, you were sitting in the wrong place. And to her defense, she apologized, and that I didn't really do it on purpose, and that should have been it. But I think that Beatrice was just really trying to get at something else and didn't position it the right way. So I don't know if you're going to comment on what she was saying, what Melanie was saying as she walked away, but that might even be the title of this episode. Give me 10.
Give me 10.
Give me
Give
10.
me 10. Give me 10.
About 10 times.
It reminded me a little bit of name 'em, name 'em, name 'em, name 'em.
But nothing is more irritating than that, because your mother does that to me. She'll just say that, and I'm like, no, stop. We're not on Beverly Hills, so stop saying that.
Oh my gosh. No, great TV though. I do want to go back into the little details of that little conversation between Beatrice and Melanie. I also want to say, I guess it's Beatrice.
I know I'm messing it
we're
up.
probably messing up her name, and we apologize for that. But
Bea, I think is
Bea, yeah.
Okay.
I love her story. I don't know if I love her yet. I do like how she called Melanie out, but I do think that she went about it the wrong way, in that Melanie heard what she said and did apologize. And then I didn't like when Beatrice said, I'm just telling you so you can correct it.
That was a
I
little
don't think
strong.
that would have sat well with me.
Right.
So I can see how Melanie kind of spiraled from there, But I do think I've seen a lot of discourse about this online, by the way. I think a lot of people are split, but I think most people are on the side of Melanie's being crazy. And she is, but I understand where it came from. I don't want to defend her because I think she was wrong. Pulling that bombshell while he was literally in the middle of a sentence was bizarre. And I did go back and I watched the clip again. She is really leaning into him. And you see Kenzie and Trinity even say to each other, like, girl, move back. Like, we're
Oh,
trying.
I didn't. I
Yeah,
missed
I
that.
missed that while I was watching the episode too, but I've since seen that clip. So I know a lot of people think, like, oh, Beatrice, she should have just minded her own business. However, I do think she was trying to stand up for specifically Kenzie. You can say that maybe she's doing it so that Kenzie doesn't go after Gabriel anymore. You could say that, but I think we'll see. We're gonna see with time who is really more genuine. I do think Melanie, I mean, she's a little bit hypocritical. We see that a lot in these shows. So we're gonna see how it plays out. I think that Sincere, I forget, he said something that made me think like, okay, he and Melanie might belong together. And I can't remember what it was, but he once he saw the new bombshell come in, he was being a little toxic too.
Okay.
So they may actually work out. We'll see.
Well, now that you mention it, if I had to pick one apart from drama factor, I do think that Bea, and is it Beatrice? Is that
Yes.
the
I
pronounce?
just feel crazy as a white person saying it
Yeah,
like
I'm
that.
more likely to mess it up and sound like a flounder, so Bea might be easier.
Yeah.
But she says things that make her seem more like a normal person, almost like a guy's girl or someone that you could hang out with that would be, I don't know, less drama. But
Yeah. Yeah. I do think that she, and I don't say this in a negative way, she does have a little bit more masculine energy. And I don't think that's a negative because I feel like I have some masculine energy too. I think she does. She seems like the kind of girl that like the guys would love to hang out with.
yeah,
And of course, she's an Olympian. She's been in sports her whole life. Of course, she has a disability, so she probably had to grow up with some thick skin. Um, I I think the verdict's still out on her. I don't I don't love what I've seen so far, but I've also seen some redeeming qualities. So, to be determined on her. I do think Kate is my number one. I think she's a queen. Melanie is last on my list, but we can't get rid of her. So she's my least favorite right now, but if she got dumped, I would be upset.
I agree. I want to see how this plays out.
It'll be interesting for sure. I'm curious. So we have a dumping. Our next episode will be a dumping. Who do you think gets dumped?
It's going to depend on the method that they do. If it's
Well, we know right now they have more boys than girls. So I think unless they shake it up, what usually happens is the girls are going to pick, and the last guy not picked is going to get dumped. So I think if that is the case, I do unfortunately think that Sean might get dumped. And I like Sean, so I don't want that to happen. But I unfortunately think it's probably going to fall to him.
unless Kenzie really likes him, and
And she might. We just really don't know. I mean, we've seen them together, but neither of them have really talked about it that much. I just don't know if they're a couple of convenience or because they actually have interest there. It's hard to say.
I guess I'm just not invested enough yet to really care at this point.
I hear you. I hear you. It's only been a week. We got lots of time to go. I know UK is 8 weeks long. I think USA is more like 6 weeks.
Okay.
Lots of time to come. I think at this point last year, we hadn't even gotten to the big Huda crash out yet. So lots to come. Anything you want to get into next?
Summer house in the city combination.
Yeah. Yep. We got much to discuss there too. As you all know, or I assume you know if you're listening to this podcast, Summer House Reunion Part 2 came out this past week. We are caught up. Whew. It's a good one. It was really, I was locked in to that screen. I wrote down a couple quotes that Sierra said that I thought were great. For background, Kyle is really like defending Amanda a lot, and it's really annoying me. Sierra's line, "You roll in the mud, you get dirty." Perfect.
Or when she said, "That's not my wife, that's your
Yep.
wife."
Yep. There was another one she said, and I forget really what the context was, but she said, referring to Amanda, she's unavailable, which is perfect for him, which is so good because she's technically married, which is perfect for West. West knows that it's not going to get too serious quick. And I think we've seen a pattern in West that he hangs out with these girls, with all these different women, multiple at the same time, and then he just kind of drops them. We saw it with Sierra. We've not seen it, but we've heard about it from other girls, like on the show, like Dara.
Wow, she had the best mic drop moment. And
Wow.
you know how I'm particular about people who speak with verbal tics. My verbal tic is starting a sentence with so, but the most common are so you know. She laid down an incredible speech just trashing him, very carefully enunciating with nothing extra, nothing missing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just silence after she said it. And then Andy asked for some clarification and she piled on again. It was classic.
It was awesome. And West, I mean, what a loser. He can say something. He's so quiet, and I think he thinks it's going to help him, and I don't think it is. I mean, for him to not defend himself at all after that, to not say, he even agreed with some of the things she was saying. He was like, "No, I do that." And I forget what it was, but it was like, you throw away these women like they're nothing. He was like, "No, you're right." I think that was all he said the whole time. It's like, dude, so then do something about it. Like, what?
Well, and
And then, sorry.
in contrast, she is defending herself in situations or in ways that she shouldn't. She should have just taken her lumps.
You mean
And
Amanda?
sorry, yes. And instead, she was saying something silly, and I can't remember if it was episode 1 or 2 of the reunion. You mean no one has ever had this happen before? Like, I'm not allowed to follow through on someone I find myself liking, and everyone else said, we're not in high school, right? And I think
Yeah.
that was Lindsay.
And Sierra was like, yes, that's exactly what you do. When it's your friend's ex, yeah, you don't act on it. That's
Right.
like, everyone knows that. Yeah, Amanda did not come in with the right attitude. West also did not come in with the right attitude. He needs to just say more things. Not that I think it would go well for him,
Right.
but I think he needs to speak. I do think it makes me think about Scandival and that reunion and how Tom Sandoval and Raquel came in like basically on their hands and knees, like crying about how sorry they were. We still hated them, not hate you. We still like were very much not on their side, but it was at least nicer to see some remorse. I don't see any of that from West and Amanda. No remorse. Even when Sierra is like very clearly getting emotional. And by the way, I love that she didn't cry, hasn't cried yet in front of those two. Love that for her. Yeah, there's just, she's coming at them and they're just like straight face. I almost wonder if they're on something. Like, did they take a Xanax? Did they take some beta blockers? Like, I know if it were me in that situation, I'd be taking my beta blockers, but it seems like they're a little too like out of it. I don't know.
It's hard to say. Being on a show would be pretty intense to begin with, but being on a reunion and being clearly the most hated two people on the stage, it's got to be a lot of pressure. And I want to go a little bit off tangent here and talk about one thing from In the City and one thing from a prior episode. And I know they're different shows, but it's all on.
It's basically the same at
It's
this
the
point. Yeah,
storyline.
they connect.
So did you notice in the most recent In the City when Amanda, West, and Sierra were together and having lunch at some like picnic table kind of outside, and West kept reaching across and eating pasta out of Amanda's plate.
Huh.
And I have known people for a lot longer than those two know each other, and I would never dream of reaching across the table and eating food off of a woman's plate without at least saying, do you mind if I try? I
Yeah,
wouldn't
can
even
I have a
ask him.
bite?
Right. I don't think I would even do that. It would be someone would say, do you want to try it? But he did it several times, reaching across. And what I'm getting at is maybe this is evidence that something was already going on then. And then the second thing, and you and I talked about this before, and it came out a little bit in episode 2 of the reunion, going back to episode 12, the scene where West and Sierra, it looks like they're at the marina before they go out on the
Mm-hmm.
boat. And I noticed something, or I thought I noticed something, and it's like at the 34-minute mark, 40-minute mark, something like that. And Wes says, I see you more. And the music changed. It had gone, it was some sort of light music, then quiet. And then as soon as he said that, there's this ominous cello. I obviously went back and watched it again.
Yeah.
And,
Ominous cello.
and she kind of turns her head a little bit to a degree. And in the beginning of that episode, they had showed her on the bed with Amanda, and I can't remember
Mm-hmm.
who else, and saying something. And Amanda says, oh, you are seen, I see you. And I was thinking, wait a minute. Sierra is thinking, you guys are talking to each other behind my back. You're using the same weird phrasing. And she finally said it on episode 2 of the reunion. I thought, okay, vindicated, even though I knew I
Mm-hmm.
was right from the beginning.
Yeah. I don't think she was clocking that at the moment. I don't think Sierra was. I think looking back, she probably realized that. And I mean, unless I'm wrong, but I really do think Sierra trusted both of them. I mean, I know West, it took a minute for them to get back, but once they were back, I mean, we saw Sierra was like, when Lindsay had her freedom dinner,
Right.
and Sierra was talking about how she was so happy to have her her favorite person in her life back. I thought that was a little much, like to call him like your favorite person.
Right.
I think is
She needs to get out more.
maybe. I just my gosh, I feel for Sierra so much because she wants to, I think she's been done wrong a lot, but she has such a big heart that she's very trusting. And when stuff like this happens to her, it's hard to watch because you know that that's like that big heart of hers is probably diminishing just a little bit, and she maybe doesn't accept as many people in because of this. And it's I can't imagine doing that to a friend of mine, really, even if we're just acquaintances. I can't imagine doing that. And I just want to point out, on the In the City episode, Amanda's in her confessional. She says, quote, Sierra has been my best friend for years. You're going to do that to your best friend. I It's so baffling to me. I know we've been here for weeks now, but it's still I'm still not over it. I think it's insane. It's insane.
Definitely not good behavior.
No, no. Yeah. So, I don't know. I want to go back to the reunion,
Sure.
and I want to say something a little more light. Like not so much West Amanda. Carl and Lindsay, I
They might get back together.
I want them to. Like, I want them to. And maybe it's the wrong choice. I know when they were together, they were not good for each other. But I think Carl's grown a lot. Carl has a lot more confidence now. I think Lindsay's in a better place. She has her kid now. I think maybe she's looking for what she's looking for is a little bit different. I see it. I see it. And I want it to happen. I think I'm going to get a lot of people disagreeing with me on this, but I want it. I see it. I want it.
It might be a little unrealistic, but I see where you're going with that.
It probably is, but I think it'd be great. Mostly just for TV purposes.
Any thoughts about In the City?
I have a few thoughts. I want to say one more thing about Summer House that has come out since the episode, and I don't know if you've heard of this. Supposedly, Dara and KJ have broken up.
Oh, your mom did say that.
And this was, I believe, after part 1 of the reunion. And I don't think we have much more information beyond that besides they unfollowed each other on Instagram. And I think maybe Dara said something on social media to kind of hint at that. But there's, well, I guess I could go look right now. Let me do some research because supposedly they unfollowed each other. And of course, when you unfollow each other and you're a public figure, that means you broke up. They are still not following each other. I just would like to know what happened there because they really did seem like they were locked in. I mean, they were talking about. She said that this is going to be the most stable relationship I've in my life. She said something similar to that. So I was a little bit surprised. I know they filmed the reunion weeks ago, but still, it's not that much time between then and now to break up. So I'm interested to see what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care.
All right. Well.
I mean, I wish the best for
Yeah.
everyone,
Yeah.
but I'm
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
focused on that.
I hear you. Moving on. I have to say about the city, Kenny might be approaching one of my least favorite Bravo men quickly. I really don't like him. The first warning sign was when he said that the girl that he just had move across the country for him, that he didn't have a spark with her. What an insane thing to say.
Especially on TV.
On TV, yeah.
Right.
And he hasn't gotten much better since then. So I'm curious your thoughts. I know he had like a run in with Lindsay. I was team Lindsay, of course. But yeah, I think he scares me a little bit.
I don't have much to say about that. It's still too early that I'm not overly fond of any of them. I think that his girlfriend is pretty, and
she is. I think she needs to get out of there.
I did go to that bar, the Garrett, the Speakeasy
Okay.
in New York when I was up there a couple weeks ago, and it was at night and it was packed, but it was kind of neat that you go into the Five Guys and there's a bouncer at the stairs and you walk up the stairs. It was nice, but that's the most I have out of in the city.
We're still learning. We're only a few episodes in. So, of course, we're going to be focusing on Lindsay, Kyle, Sierra. Well, Sierra's not on there, but she was. Lindsay, Kyle, Amanda. We're kind of focusing on that right now, but I, of course, had to point out how much I can't stand Kenny.
Is he the one that said I work out every day?
I-
No, that's the guy, the milkman.
Yes, the milkman that Lindsay was dating. Speaking of Lindsay, real quick, this is not important, but I love it when, and this is a broader kind of comment too, I love it when the editors are shady. Like Lindsay pointed out when she was meeting up with Danielle, which I'm glad they're meeting up, by the way. I think they need to be friends again. I mean, they were so close. Anyways, she said in her confessional that she always says yes. Like Danielle, I guess, said, I'm surprised you said yes. And Lindsay responded, I always say yes. Then the editors flash back to what? Last episode, where Danielle comes up to her in the bar and says, can we get a coffee sometime? And Lindsay says, no. I don't know what exactly she said, but she definitely declined the offer. I love it when the editors find that and do a little flashback just to say, hey, no, that's not what you said, but okay.
Interesting. It reminds me, I love how on Southern Hospitality, the producers will do it. I looked this up. It's called a snap zoom, where they show them in the confessional, and then a split second later, it's their face really close up. And they do that to Emmy all the time because of her eyes
Wow.
or because she's saying something completely inconsistent with what she said before. But yes, I wish they would do it more often, including on the reunions where they're saying like, I never said that. And sometimes they'll show the footage and sometimes they don't.
It's kind of like if you ever watch The Office, which everyone has seen The Office, how when one character will kind of look at the camera, it's a little bit like that, but in editing
Yep.
instead. Like you're trying to tell the audience something. Should we move on to Southern Hospitality since we're kind of already there?
Sure.
I don't have much on this, but I do have a couple notes. What is up with Lake and Michaels saying they chase each other around with knives? Did you catch that?
I did. I thought that was a little bit odd.
Like, very bizarre.
And then to say like everyone does that. Like I did that within my family.
Yeah, they're trying to say, like, we're brother and sister. I'm pretty sure My brother and I never chased each other around with. Now we fought. We'd get pretty physical, but we were not using knives.
No, no,
That's
and
insane.
that they're defending each other. And earlier in the season, they were fighting like cats and dogs.
The other thing I thought was interesting, and maybe I just don't know enough about Maddie, they congratulated her on 12 years of sobriety. I think it's awesome. And she's a DJ, like she's in that world. So good for her. I do think she got a little bit defensive about her ex boyfriend, and that's kind of questionable to me.
It doesn't look good. If I were Joe, I would be squirming. And speaking of Joe, does he not ask anyone for help on trying to put a business plan together? It seems like it's almost too off that I wonder if sometimes you have to wonder if these things are a show line. And I'm not saying that that's the case here, but wow, he had no idea what he was doing. And no, he clearly didn't ask for help. He's like all over the place. He thinks if he has good ideas that people are going to put their money up and say like, sure, I'll start a business with you. And maybe that was going to happen earlier, but I don't know that if I was Leva that I would have even given him a shot to begin with, because all he had was ideas. He doesn't have any capital.
And it's
And
not like having a rooftop with live music is a generational idea, like it's been done before.
right, especially in Charleston. It used to be that there were only one or two rooftops in Charleston. Now there are quite a few.
I've been to quite a
Right,
few.
right.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I want to say he's young, but he's not young. He's older than me.
Well,
He's 30.
they
So,
made a big deal.
yeah,
of
they
him
did
turning
make a
30.
big deal about him turning 30. So, yeah, he does. I don't know. I think he's just very unserious. And I think he's like that a little bit with Maddie, too. I hate to say it, but I don't think they're going to end up together. I don't. I don't think Maddie likes him as much as he likes her, but we'll see. So, that's all I have on Southern Hospitality.
Yeah, no, I love the show. I
It's
have to say
great
that,
show. Yeah, great show.
and in closing on this, that this is something that's been on my mind. I have an inverse relationship between how much ostentation is shown and how much glam is and how much I like the show. And what I mean by that is Real Housewives, especially currently, there's a lot of wealth displayed. You know, I have a Bentley, I have this big house, I have a glam team that travels with me. And at the moment, most of the Housewives franchises I'm not a big fan of. In contrast, Southern Charm, Southern Hospitality, Below Deck, uh, I'm sure
Summer
missing
House in
Summer
the
House.
city.
There's none of that, right? Sure, there's some money. Okay, they're in the Hamptons, but they don't own that house, right? And they're not pretending to own the house. And it's just it might just be coincidence or correlation, not causation, but I still like the shows that seem a little more authentic. And again, we're watching reality TV. We're not assuming that everything is always
Yeah.
real.
We understand that a lot of these things are not scripted, but not fully real either. So we understand that
Right,
fully.
right.
Okay. I do want to just briefly mention Atlanta and Rhode Island. I think both are really good seasons right now. No, you disagree?
Yeah, you can see my face. I'll talk about it very briefly. Atlanta, it's this week. It was like I felt like it was homework. Like watching it
Really?
for this podcast, I just thought I'd rather read and watch it at the same time, which sometimes I do. And there are a couple things. One, it goes back to the glam thing. They're really going out of their way to show how much stuff they have, and that's not always true, but they really have. And it's the vulgarity, and that sounds like an super old band.
No,
There's the level of vulgarity
Mhm.
on the show. It's off putting, and I don't know. It's because they feel like they have to say something that's really racy and controversial to get on camera or to get their confessional in. But I'm not a fan. So those are my very brief comments on that. On Rhode Island, I don't know what you want to cover, but two things. One, there is another podcast called Bravo Docket. Ceci and Angela, they're lawyers, and they go
Shout
through.
out.
Shout out to Ceci and Angela at Bravo Docket. When we talk about receipts, they go through legal pleadings and filings. And a couple episodes ago, they covered Rhode Island, and they go into some detail about some legal troubles, civil and criminal, for some of the people on the show. and it's worth a listen. And then the second thing is that on one of the most recent episodes, they talked about some divorces, including an update on Drew and what's her husband,
Ralph,
Ralph's divorce.
basement man.
And I thought of that one because of, we're talking about both these shows, but that was an example of they go through what the pleadings are in that case for what Drew makes, and it's far less than you would ever imagine. And what Ralph claims to have made in whatever job he does is far more than I would have ever thought. So interesting. That is the only podcast that I listen to that is related to reality TV, and I listen to it pretty religiously.
Mm-hmm.
What were you going to say about Atlanta and Rhode Island?
I just want to add, I listen to a lot of reality TV podcasts, so I am a little bit more tapped into the social media of it all. But I like that you don't, because it makes it more genuine from you. Like, these are your real feelings. You're not just like stealing your thoughts from somebody else, I guess. Atlanta, I understand what you're saying. Like, I do hear you. I think what is keeping me entertained is these feuds that are going on and the reads. The reads have been great this season. You know what that means, right?
Yes.
Okay. For those that might not know, a read is when it's pretty much a really good, well put insult.
Yes.
So,
how does it differ from shade?
I think shade is a little bit less in your face. Now, I'm not the expert on these. I think you would probably need to ask, like, can you more hair care? But yeah, I think that no show does it like Atlanta when it comes to that. I mean, there were a couple, like Kelly, saying about Portia, like, she's big as hell. She beat my ass. Like, just stuff. It's just good. I mean, Portia Williams is really one of my favorite housewives ever. I think that she's usually wrong in these arguments, but I don't even care. I think she's hilarious. I love her. What I also liked is, I don't know if you noticed, Angela and Pinky.
Oh, the fight at dinner. That was epic.
Well, yes, that was earlier in the season.
Yeah.
That was an epic fight. But what you may not have noticed in this last episode is they're hanging out together. They're friends now. After that big blowout argument, they're friends now and they're cool. And that is one of my favorite things that happens in Housewives, is when you can have the most insane argument where you said the nastiest stuff about each other. Then a couple weeks later, they're hanging out. They're good. It was one of my favorite things about Rhode, Real Housewives of New York, is that they'd the same thing. They'd go crazy on each other and then just make up like nothing happened.
Well, and that's why I wonder on the Housewives franchises, maybe not production, but the cast members get together and they hatch up a plan because they feel like they have to, because they're unless there's drama, they're not going to be on screen, right? They're not being filmed constantly like in Summer House or another show, and you can tell when they're working together to get something, and it's frustrating, annoying. I guess maybe because it makes me question some of the whole reality TV, which obviously we're pretty invested in, but it's just, I'm not a fan of what the things that they do to each other, and you can tell they're scheming.
I do think for Atlanta specifically, they've had an issue with that the past few seasons. I think that's why they've mixed up the cast so much, because it just doesn't feel super real. And I'm not saying they fixed that completely. For me, I am a little bit more invested in this season than previous seasons. And then this is kind of unrelated, but just anytime Nene Leakes pops up on my screen, it just brings me joy. And the fact that they can use her clips now because she's not in a lawsuit with Bravo anymore, like they've made up. I just love that. I think they brought it up when they were talking about Cynthia's friendship contract. They brought in the clip of Nene Leakes, and then they were talking about Portia's classic line, 265 days a year. And they brought in Nene Leakes again. And I I know it's so minor, it's so little, but I just love to see that. I really do. I think it opens the door to bring her back someday.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Rhode Island, I don't have much to say. I think that Alicia and Liz and Joellen fight was ridiculous with that poor man trying to just sing his song. And Liz lost me here. I like Liz. I liked Liz. I saw a side to her this episode that freaked me out a little bit, to be honest. She definitely did pull Joellen's hair, and she kicked her. She did. She's trying to say that, no, I never did that. Why would you say it didn't? No, she did it. It's all on camera, baby. And then, last thing I have to say about Rhode Island. We have a dog sighting. Did you see Dolores' dog named Dog?
No.
It's my favorite Bravo animal, I've decided. Dolores' dog named Dog. I love it.
I'm missing that.
Yeah, I guess you're missing it.
Yeah.
That always gave me a giggle, and I thought it was funny when we saw Dog.
I'm just fascinated with the accents because I guess I have not spent enough time around people from Rhode Island to know that they have an accent to me that's so similar to parts of Jersey, which makes sense. They're right around the corner, but it's interesting.
Yeah. Well, I think that's all we have. Well, on my end, was there anything else you wanted to discuss before we play a little quick game?
The only random thought is I've been watching a lot of the shows and they show people eating with their mouth open and it's really annoying. And Pinky did it.
Peeve.
Yeah. And Carl was doing it. And can't the producers just cut that out? I don't want to see it. It's a term. I can't remember.
You're just
Misophonia, which I think is the sound, which of course, drives me crazy. And then misokinesia. If you see someone eating with their mouth open, this is just, I know it's a me problem, but
you're just airing your grievances now.
I have a list of things I keep and I want to bring up every once in a while. So
no, I like that. I'm sure you'll have some people that agree with you. I don't disagree with you at all. I just don't notice it as much as you do. So this game we're gonna play, it's quick, it's simple, it's not crazy. Something that I've noticed about Dad over the years as we have watched a lot of TV, he's terrible with names. We've had one already this episode that you missed, which is why we have a cheat sheet here. I'm going to show him an image and see if he can guess. And we got 3 people. I have an easy, medium, and a hard. We're going to see if you figure out who it is.
Okay.
Now, this first one, I'm starting a little easy. I think you're going to get this one, but I've also been surprised before by who you don't know. So, here's your first girl. Do you need to see it closer? Kenya.
Okay.
You get bonus points for last names. Kenya Moore hair care. I gave it to you earlier. Yeah. Okay, good one. That's easy. That's level easy. Now, level medium. This image provides a hint.
Orange County.
Wrong. Maybe I could send you these pictures.
I think that predates my time.
No, it doesn't. It sure doesn't. No, you know this woman. Not Orange County. I will give you a hint, but not yet. Let's see if you can tell.
Oh, that's the one with the leg.
Well, yes.
New Jersey. No, Brahoni.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way I'll remember her name, but that is the scene where she threw a leg on the table.
Yes, you have that correct. I was curious if you'd figure out her name. That's Aviva Drescher.
Yeah, not in a million years would I remember that.
Okay, maybe that was harder than I thought then. Okay, the last one then I really don't think you're going to get, but we're going to see. We're going to see. You might surprise me.
No.
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 Do you have a guess of a franchise?
Southern Charm?
No. She was on... Actually, she's been on two. She's been on Beverly Hills and she's been on OC. That is Teddy Mellencamp.
Okay, that I didn't watch either of those shows at that time.
I haven't watched OC either, but we've watched Beverly Hills. You just maybe didn't see the early seasons, I guess.
Right.
So I guess, yeah, that was a tough one. She's the one, Teddy Mellencamp, she's the one who has brain cancer right now.
Right.
So all good energy for Teddy. We're wishing the best for her. But that is... I think we've reached the end of our first real big episode. So hope it was enjoyable. And anything else to say, Dad?
No.
All right. Well, we will look forward to talking to you guys next time.
Thanks.
That's our episode. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks for listening.
If you like the show, leave us a rating or a comment. It helps more than you'd think. Follow us wherever you're listening and on social media at Check Me Boomer.
And tell a friend who'd get it.
See you next week.